there's something different. We are very pleased and proud to welcome you all this week from Greater Fort Lauderdale. And our guests today are familiar faces to all of you. Now they're returning to primetime television. Let's take a look.
Okay. Can you name all the kids on the Brady Bunch?
Marcia, Cindy, Bobby, Peter.
Marcia, Jan, Cindy, Peter, Greg, Bobby.
3 boys and 3 girls, but I would never know their names.
Marcia, Jan, Cindy, Greg, Bobby, and Peter. Yeah! What else?
The story of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely
The Brady Bunch began more than 20 years ago, and Mom, Dad, Alice the maid, and those 6 happy-go-lucky kids represented the ultimate in suburban bliss.
Hey! Raquel.
In fact, a whole generation grew up believing that if their family wasn't as happy as the Brady Bunch, something must be terribly wrong.
Cindy, honey, what's wrong?
She was here and now she's gone.
Who was here and now she's gone?
Kitty, she's been kidnapped. He did. He's the one who did it.
Now it's the 90s. The Bradys are back with a brand new show. But since the new show is more drama than comedy, the grown-up cast will face a whole slew of hard issues. The show's producer has referred to his creation as Brady something.
Mom, Dad, am I going to walk again?
Sure you will.
Come on, Bobby. You're a winner, remember?
Please welcome Cindy Brady, Susan Olsen. Please welcome Jan Brady, Plumb. And who can forget their lovable housekeeper, Alice, of course, Ann B. Davis. Finally, my favorite TV mom, Mrs. Carol Brady, Florence Henderson. Hello. Put your microphone on. Hello. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh. I think the Brady is sort of like a cult thing. We're going to start with Florence. When you were working with the 6 children every day for 5 years, 12 hours a day, 5 years, wouldn't it be natural to treat them like they were your own children? And did your own children resent that?
It was very natural to treat them like my own children. It still is. I'm sure they think I'm much too bossy.
Do they? Yes. She smacks us around all the time.
And sometimes it was difficult for my children, I think. Yes, I think they
Was there
felt...
jealousy? What would your own children act like? I mean, everybody just goes up and asks you about the TV kids.
Well, yeah, you know, these kids talk about the problems they had as children. My children had a lot of problems in school. Sometimes the teachers were extra hard on them because they were my child, and then the kids that they went to school with would be jealous because of whom I was, and who am I don't know. But anyway, it was tough for them. I remember when Lizzie, they know Lizzie, when she was a little girl, we were all in Central Park. We were playing, and all these little kids ran up to me. Oh, Mrs. Brady, Mrs. Brady. And Lizzie tugged on my skirt and said, Mom, tell them we're your real kids.
Aww.
So, but they've turned out to be wonderful adults, so I guess it wasn't too hard on them.
Absolutely, 4 of the finest people you'll ever meet.
Her children? The real children? The real? Oh, this is going to be so fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fact that a whole generation of people who had problems at home and didn't live inside the television screen viewed all of you as this idealized life, that nothing we could do would be as wonderful as the Bradys could do?
Well, I think it's wonderful, and I think there's room for it. Obviously, there's a need for it because millions of people have watched us for years, so I feel very good about that, you know. I don't think...
But Florence, all you did all day long was talk to your husband about the kids.
Well, I drank, no, Sally, I drank a lot of coffee, too.
Okay, drank coffee and talked about the kids.
Look, I think that people that have tough lives, I had a terrible childhood. I had a rough childhood. We were extremely poor.
How many children?
There were 10 of us. I was the youngest of 10. My father was a sharecropper, a tenant farmer who struggled with alcoholism most of his life. When I got a chance or an opportunity to go to the movies, I didn't want to go see my life. I wanted to go see Jane Powell singing and dancing and Judy Garland and Fred Astaire. I had enough reality at home, and I think that's how people feel about our show.
But didn't it make you feel, when you got back home, worse?
No.
No?
No, it gave me hope. I knew that there was something better, and I knew that I could be in show business someday and be just like them. So it gave me a wonderful dream.
Is anything just like them, though? That's the key word.
Well, I feel like my family was not like the Brady Bunch. I mean, we didn't spend entire weeks looking for my doll or anything like that, but I don't think anybody would really necessarily want their family to be exactly like the Brady Bunch. But a good family is certainly comparable. And you know, I liked my family, and I was very proud to be in my family. I thought we were kind of cooler than the Bradys.
What was she like on the set?
I gotta go.
I love it. It really is Fort Lauderdale. The boat
I gotta go, Sally.
Bye. Very quick show.
You know what? That's a joke.
Isn't that funny?
We have a joke. We have a joke for years on the original Brady Bunch. I used to say, I gotta go, my boat's double docked. Not knowing that one day I would be living on a boat, which I do.
You live on a boat now?
Yes, I do. So anyway, go ahead, Susan.
You were the littlest one back behind the scenes. Were you a prankster? A child working 12 hours a day, 5 days a week for 5 years. Is that a childhood?
No, honestly, it is not really a childhood. I was the type of child that I wanted that. I would get to have my normal life during hiatus, and I would go to regular school and be with my regular friends and do all the regular things kids do. And by the time hiatus was over, I was very bored with it.
Really?
And I wanted to go back and work. And I enjoyed working, and I thought of it as a job and a profession. I hope I was professional. I don't know that I can really answer the question of what was I like.
Were they? That was one of the saving graces. Right from the first day of the first reading, the director, John Rich, who was the original director, he treated all of those children from this to this as if they were professional actors.
Yes.
And that's exactly the way they responded. I mean, when they came to work, they knew their words, they did what they were told, but when they were off, then they were kids. Yeah.
We go put our roller skates on.
Let's talk about you.
What
You
did I do?
are the prototype of every Ann B. Davis, every ditzy secretary, every ditzy maid. I mean, you invented the genre. You are her. Everyone who's come along, I think, has just been... Oh, God. It's true.
It has something to do with being around so long. I was in on the ground floor of television, so
But what was great, I think, is that no matter what you were playing, and they were always something that was supposed to be vaguely subservient, you had a mouth on you.
Well, you see, I had the feeling that, in a strange way, that I always played the underdog. And I think that was one of my appeals, because everybody is an underdog to somebody.
That's why, yeah.
And because I had writers behind me, I would say all the things that you'd think of to say later.
Exactly.
Or
And
that
that's
I
what,
would think of to say later.
that's what made it so great.
So I think that's one reason why it's the Schultze character to start with.
Now, you live and have been living for 14 years in a religious community?
Well, in a Christian community of kind of extended family. That's why I find wonderful parallels with what we're doing and what we've been doing. Because in 76, I moved to Denver. I went to visit, actually, a Christian community headed by the Episcopal Bishop of Colorado, Bishop Fry. And two families had decided that they wanted to, that the Lord was calling them into some kind of community life. So they'd sold their houses in the suburbs and bought a house in downtown Denver. And I went to visit them in January of 76. By May, I realized I lived there. So I sold my house in Los Angeles. And I stayed. So I've been living in an
Like
extended
the
family.
60s, you live communally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it amounts to.
Everybody, if you have money, you put it in. If you don't have money, you take it out. So far, we managed to balance that all the way through the years, which was fine.
We have so many questions to ask all of you. What happened? What really went on? Did you ever date any of the boys?
Well, actually...
Wait a minute, here's the good stuff, guys.
Actually, yes, Chris and I did go out on a couple of dates.
All right, more about that. You are going to meet, you're going to see the Brady boys. By the way, throughout this show, you're going to be seeing scenes of us, our whole staff, at the Plumb Spa. So the moment you've been waiting for, her love life, and the Brady boys when we return. Save the best for last.
The Coolidge High mascot. Greg must have been one of the guys who lifted it.
Greg's gonna be famous.
You mean expelled? Hey, come back here. Come back!
We're here in Greater Fort Lauderdale at the Plumb Spa also, and we've been seeing the most gorgeous women. They're terrific. You're very, very attractive group of people. Sorry. However, the Bradys wouldn't be a bunch, and excuse me, without the boys. Please welcome Bobby Brady, Mike Lookinland. Please welcome Peter Brady, Christopher Knight. And finally, sexy Greg Brady, Barry Williams. Oh dear. Listen to that, Barry. When you were doing the original show, did every girl want to date you because you're Greg?
Ah, they still do.
They still do? Listen to her. You are the middle child, the troublemaker.
Well, I felt that I never did get enough sleep growing up with all the dating we did.
Fair, it's all right.
It's fair, we did
You know,
we did pretty well.
speaking of guys in that appeal, how's the butcher? Oh, Sam! Right? Anybody else remember?
We talk about Sam a lot. We talk about Sam a lot, but we never see him.
Sam is home taking care of his rump roast.
His who?
Taking care of his rump roast.
Oh, rump roast. I know. All right. We were talking about the youngest of the kids. Did you two ever, I mean, was there something that you had somebody else to play with, to pal around with? Were you two a force that got you some status, at least, as the youngest kids?
In retrospect, it was really important to have peers and friends to play with, and because we were kids, you know, we spent a lot of our time working, but when we weren't working, we were either in school or we were fooling around, playing, you know, climbing ladders and running around the back lot.
I used to go over to Mike's house and make him take me into his room and open up his closet so I could laugh at his suits because they were so cute and little.
This is a true story. This is true.
True story.
We were going to talk about you. Which of these gentlemen did you date?
Well,
Well, the real daters.
the real Dan Brady's date. Stand up, Chris. It can be told. It can be told now. Yes, we did go out on a date. Yeah. It took him forever to realize that I liked him. You know. I
took
stood under the
separation.
mistletoe for hours waiting for you to come by.
Years, I think it was.
Did you have a big look the other way? Did you have a big crush on him?
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah.
So did all of America, but
Yeah.
I mean you particularly.
Yeah. Why should she be less nice? Is, you know, he's grown up and he's gotten married to a very wonderful woman, but we've remained friends, and you know, he's a great guy, and he's still incredibly adorable.
How long have you been married?
6 months tomorrow.
It sounds strange, I think, that we might have dated one another, except as we grew up, we were who we knew the best, and we were around each other more with one another than even with our own families. So, you know, we're all pushed together for those tight shots with the camera, and we're always overlapping elbows. And you know, you look over, and Eve is very attractive, Maureen, very attractive girl, and we end up going out.
Florence? Wait, I know. I have a wonderful story about dating. I had a date with Barry when he took me out once when he was young, and we went to the Coconut Grove to hear a wonderful singer, and he wasn't old enough to drive, and his brother had to pick us up and drive us.
What happened to Maureen McCormick? Why didn't she return to the new series?
She's on to doing other things. I guess she figured that it's time to move on from
She
the
just had a
Bradys.
baby.
And she just had a baby, and she's working now on I think it's a series. It's a project with Blake Edwards, so I'm really very happy for her.
We grew up in a family of 8 children. This is my youngest sister. And we used to fight to get in front of the TV to see the show. Was there any sibling rivalry on the set with you? I mean, almost as a family?
I was always, you know, beating Susan up. So
Yeah, she was. She was. We were all, believe it or not, we were good friends. We didn't have the fights that you hear about, that you would have heard about, you know, in the tabloids or whatever.
We weren't allowed to. We were, you know, we each had our own parents, and we were expected, like Ann said,
to perform as professionals. Yeah.
And you know, and to straighten up and just, you know.
And now these two guys over here are a different story.
Yeah, these guys get it.
Eve, did you marry? Are you married?
No, I was married at one point. I'm not married any longer.
Okay.
That was going to be my question. How many of you are married, and do you have children of your own? How many have children?
We can go down the line. Ann?
No.
Nothing, no. Florence, yes?
Yes, married, and I have 4 children.
I'm married, and I have no children yet.
I'm single and no children.
I'm married, going on 3 years. I have 3 boys and 3 girls. My wife is pregnant, 5 months pregnant with our first child.
Yeah.
Hi, Kelly.
I haven't learned how to incubate yet in 6 months. No, I have no child yet, and no plans for children for some time.
The dogs, though. The dogs are big.
I have dogs, a lot of dogs.
Dogs, everywhere.
Dad?
I'm not married, no children, but
Barry is getting married.
But I have a wife on the way.
When?
I'll be married to Diane Martin in July 3rd.
You'll be married this year?
This year.
You are affianced?
Fianced, as they say. Ensconced and fianced.
First, a few comments. I want to welcome you back. It's good to have you back in Fort Lauderdale. I have watched Schultze for years. You've been my heroine. I'm still doing clerical work and trying to keep my bosses in line like you kept Bob Cummins in line. It's great to see you all. I caught the show the other night, and it's like seeing my own family.
You said the right thing. The critics weren't kind.
They never have.
And I want to talk. Wait, guys. I'll let you get back at them. And we will talk about that. And we're also going to meet your wife on television when we return.
Me.
Robert Brady, do you take Tracy Wagner to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold, to love and to cherish through sickness and in health, as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Please welcome Bobby Brady's wife, Tracy, who is really Martha Quinn. Now, I think this is so weird, as my kids would say. When you were a little girl, is that just publicity, or do you really want to marry him?
Well,
I want to know the answer to this too. I am personally interested in the answer to this question. I've read this in every publication.
Rolling
known to
Stone
man.
says you had a crush on him. You told all your girlfriends, and when it became real, that everyone freaked out.
I know. Well, what I think is that a big difference between guys and girls is when guys see a woman that they really love, they want to have sex.
You know what?
Oh, I would throw her out of bed. I mean, we've heard this
Sure.
before. I'm not revealing this new. And I think what guys do is what girls do is say, oh, I would love to be Mrs. And for me, it was Mrs. Bobby Brady. And lo and behold, it actually happened. Dreams do come true.
You talk about imaging. I think that's the wildest image I've ever heard. Now,
Maybe that's what happened, Sally. I don't know.
Martha, you work on MTV.
Yes.
Okay, MTV. MTV is one image. Now you're on the Brady. I mean, you're probably schizoid as anything. Don't you wear your hair one way for MTV? What do? Come home and change it?
Well, there is something to that, but I think within the MTV context, I was sort of the girl who went to the Aerosmith concert, but you kind of secretly knew she went home to her parents. I was sort of the safe girl next door one. Now this guy, you think is little Mr. Q Bobby Brady, but Mike Lickenland has seen the Grateful Dead 96 times.
96 times. So fear not, parents. If your kids are going to Grateful Dead concerts, chances are...
There's still hope.
They're still sick.
They can wind up like him.
Well.
Okay, let's get to it. I said we were going to talk about this. I want you to take a look at a negative review of the new show.
No.
You don't want to take a look at it?
No.
I'll put it up on the screen. Those of us that want to take a look at it, you don't have to. And this is a negative review from USA Today, February 8th. I'm going to read it to you, and after I finish, I want your opinion. This is what they wrote. The show's producers jokingly label their new product Brady something. It's really Brady nothing. Less than nothing. It may be the low point of an already subpar season. Matt Roush, USA Today. What do you think?
Wow, where does he live? I would like to point out.
Is that a newspaper?
I would like to point out.
Yes, Ann.
I would like, being the oldest member here, I would like to point out that never in the 22 years since we went on the air have we ever gotten a good review. However, we are still on the air because you like it. Right?
Very interesting. All right, now, before it's all, I'll give you your chance in a minute. Let me just, this was a letter to TV Guide dated February 10th. What did the Brady Bunch ever do to TV Guide's insider to warrant that outpouring of venom? Granted, the Brady Bunch may not be television's most exemplary use of the medium, but it was a series featuring 9 likable human beings who I enjoyed visiting with every Friday night. The Bradys are nice people, which is why I'll be watching the new show, Scott Gibson, Evergreen, Colorado.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
Let's talk about ratings versus critics. Go ahead. Yes.
I don't want to criticize the critics. I think critics have a place and that they are doing a job that's valuable. But what I don't understand is why it is they don't feel that there is room for different types of programming. That is to say, I've done shows that are comedic, that are farce, that are broad slapstick, that are dramatic, and our show is a type of programming. It's light, it's moralistic, it's about communication, it's about families, and it's hopefully entertaining. And I think that has its place in television.
This is a different show. The Brady Bunch was supposed to be mostly comedy. Is this mostly serious, Florence?
Well, I think it is. It has more serious overtones, but I had a lot of friends call me after the show Friday night from the Midwest who said the show made them laugh and made them cry, and I agree with Barry. I think not every show can be the Bundys, Married with Children. I think there are a lot of people out in America, obviously, who want to watch something like the Bradys, and there's a place for it and a need for it.
Now, the Bradys is on CBS at 8 o'clock on Friday night. They'll be very happy I remembered that.
Is it true that Greg and Marcia used to date, and if so, how was it working together and dating at the same time?
Well, yes, Maureen McCormick, who played the role of Marcia, and I did date for a while, but I completely gave up on her when she got married.
Good move.
I felt I was being dumped.
First of all, I'd like to say that I can't believe I'm meeting you here in person.
Hello.
You look like something out of Dynasty. You look
Thank you.
better than Joan Collins, okay? One question. After the original Brady's was over, did you people have, like, was it harder for you to get jobs in, other stuff on TV?
Who feels that they couldn't work again? Any of you feel it was tough? Do you? Really? Why? Tell me about it.
I don't feel that I couldn't. It was extremely tough, though. Although I believe that if there's something that I really want to do, nothing's going to stand in my way. No, you
By
you
the
go
way,
where your mind is. And
speaking
it is
of
raining.
nothing standing in your way,
Yeah.
for the audience, in case you wonder what's going on.
Yeah,
Only your imagination.
It's only your imagination. It isn't raining. We'll see. We'll separate the boys from the girls. We'll see the men from the women, the big grown-ups from the little kids. The bras from the shirts. It is raining here in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Happens only once a year. We'll take a break. To you from Greater Fort Lauderdale, and on behalf of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the rain lasted about, what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Less. Everybody stayed. We're talking to the Brady Bunch. The audience is terrific. They stayed. They're very brave. So thank you very much. Now, let's talk a little bit about the new show. Florence. I maintain you never wore any cleavage. You never gave a passionate kiss to your husband on the old Brady Bunch. Are things changing on the new show?
I'm getting out of the kitchen, spending more time in a bedroom.
There you go.
That makes two of us. That makes two of us.
I'd like to know where Robert Reed is today.
That's what we'd like to know. He's probably out in his garden, sunning himself.
All right.
Hi, this question is for Bobby Brady. During the Christmas show, you had mentioned that you're interested in race car driving. I was wondering if professionally you're into it, or if personally you like to go to the shows.
I'm into spectating. I've been to a lot of car races. I used to go to Ascot and the California 500, but I'm not involved in driving. No.
Here comes the rain again. Now, in the first episode, you were in a car crash. Everybody watches you. You are now a paraplegic.
This is
a
true,
married
yes.
paraplegic. Are you going to stay a paraplegic?
In the script, I did not suffer a severed spinal cord. The nerves are growing back. It was an L3 spinal trauma, and we made all this up having got the script. And
by the way,
I'm a little bit more and more ambulatory in each episode, and I'm working on it. But I'm hurt bad.
I love this. Do you love this?
Yeah.
I love it.
Getting wet with
I
the
want
Brady
people to know. No, I got to tell you something. I wouldn't turn off that television for $1 million. You have got to watch to see whether we make it, guys. You can't go anywhere. Do we stay here? All right, your turn. Go. Go. We keep it going. Let's go.
Yeah.
One of the most fun things now about our new show is first we've expanded it to an hour. And so we have more time to get into different issues. The original show focused on the kids, the bunch.
Right.
We still focus on the original cast, but the kinds of things that we can get involved in are a lot more socially
Oh, I thank you.
like paraplegic.
Yours? Give me one. I need every umbrella in the place.
Get up and just singing in the rain.
All right.
Let's just sing
in the rain. I'm singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. Right back. Brady Bunch. I gotta say that the people in Fort Lauderdale are great troopers, and certainly the Brady Bunch is. We're going to talk quickly because the suit is shrinking, and so we're going to move right along. They call it liquid sunshine. All right, I want to hear, we started when it began to rain. I want to hear about the new show. You're a paraplegic. You are married to Tracy Brady. Tracy has alcohol problems? No. Marcia has alcohol problems. Mother is in the bedroom with a little more cleavage, right? Now, Anne, you are no longer the housekeeper.
I'm now a friend of the family. I'm
Friend
out
of
of
the
the
family.
uniform. I'm into clothes.
Married the butcher. All right, what about you two?
Greg's been in school since we saw him. I've become an obstetrician gynecologist.
Yeah.
And best of all, he married a nurse. He married Gidget.
He married Gidget, a nurse.
Karen Richmond, who plays the role of Nora Brady now, was the new Gidget in the television series, and a wonderful actress.
And who are we missing?
Me.
You.
Peter. Peter's a little oversexed. He's in bed all over town. But he likes it that way.
Oversexed. Okay, let me tell you something. If you've heard of Deadheads, and you've heard of Trekkies, I would like to introduce to you, what do you call a Brady person? What would they be?
You know what, Will Wheaton is a real Brady fan. And
Who?
Will Wheaton, who is on Star Trek.
Was a Brady fan? I don't think you've met anything till you met this guy. He is the Trekkie of the Brady bunch. And his name is John?
Mancuso, John Mancuso.
John has, well, how much of a Brady fan are you?
Well, let me just tell you, I'm not the only one. A whole bunch of us are really big fans of yours. We used to, in our town, we had you back-to-back episodes. And then we used to take turns when they brought you back to one show, a half hour around the phone, doing different characters. Like, what? You took the Brady bunch off? Hang up. And have somebody else call and be mothers, fathers, everything. And they got their priorities straight. You're back on for an hour again.
Now, if I went to a flea market or an antique show, is there Brady memorabilia and what's it worth?
Here, here's an example. Compliments of my sister. This is Marcia Brady and Greg in his groovy clothes here. See the pilgrim buckle boots there?
Right.
Right.
And so there are collectors who do this. All right.
Oh, lots of stuff.
We've asked John he is the head of the trivia of the Brady bunch. He's going to ask you guys a question. If you can answer it, the rainstorm's on me.
Okay, this is something that probably involves the whole family, especially the boys. When you went to Hawaii, there was a man who warned you against the evilness of the tiki. You know, no, the first episode, not the end. Who was that? Tiki?
Yes, Florence. Florence thinks she has it.
I know.
What?
Vincent Price, wasn't it?
No.
Not that one?
What was his name?
He was on Hawaii 5-0 a lot.
Right. No.
It was Mr.
All right,
Kahana.
Right, almost. Mr. Hanalei.
Mr. Hanalei, thank you. So there's a whole Brady fan. I think that's terrific. Save everything you can save from the Brady bunch. Anybody smart enough to be out here in the rain with us today? Yes, ma'am. Stand. Stand and take down the umbrella for just a minute. Hello. I love you. There you go.
Meredith has been watching the Brady Bunch reruns, and Friday night it was very hard for her to understand how you had all grown up, and it's still puzzling to her, but she's a fan.
Meredith, isn't it unusual to see them? They have a magic pill, darling, and they grow up right away, okay? I love it.
You'll grow up.
Next question. Yes. You look as bad as I do.
Okay, well, I forgot my umbrella for today. Usually, like when actors have a successful series, they're happy about it, but once it's over, it's like they want to put the characters behind them. What influenced you all to come back and recreate the characters?
The job.
Job? Money?
Money.
Can we talk about money when we return? We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Love boats, some had trouble finding work. So let's talk about money. Who can give me one sentence of what a residual is?
A residual is when the show that you have filmed is aired again and again and again. You get paid for it as an actor. And because of the ruling at the time when we did the Brady Bunch, we were not compensated. We are not compensated currently for those shows.
When they run, you guys are not sitting home clipping coupons and getting rich.
No.
People don't look at me and say, gee, I thought you were dead.
Yeah.
But they do.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
know that I'm alive because they've seen me on the set.
But, you know, they do have a tendency to treat you like you pick up the bill, you do this because you were a kid star. Now, kids and drugs. We've had a lot of famous people who were famous as stars when they were children, and they can't live in the real world. And so they explain that's why they do a lot of shooting up and drinking down and doing stuff like that. Problems? Let's talk.
There's a lot of pressure, obviously, when you're an actor, and there's a lot of pressure for anyone growing up as an adolescent. I think that you know, drugs are maybe more pervasive in the entertainment field.
So did you do drugs?
Well, I'm not exactly Peter Brady. But I didn't have an overwhelming problem.
You did
in
have
my
it.
life.
Are you
No.
all right now?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good. Anybody else? The girls seem to be pretty. What about you?
Okay, first off, I want to clear up the rumor that I OD'd and I'm now dead. I'm not dead, it just seems that way. But oh, stop it. It's Buffy, Family Affair, who overdosed. And since we did look alike, people think it was me. And I've seen your shows with other people.
And they say if you're in show business as a kid, you got to do drugs. You got to.
Well, what about all the kids that aren't in show business?
Yeah.
In Midwest and in Florida and New York that are just real drug users.
Yeah, and I've done my experimenting, but it's not because I was Cindy Brady. It's more because I'm a person. I'm of an artistic nature, and but we all came out fine.
You did come out. What are you? You're standing there getting very. Get him that mic.
I tell you, we do hear about people using drugs after shows have gone up, but and I think most of us get tired of people blaming the business. The business doesn't owe us anything. We do the best job we can. Those of us that have had series or continuing series are among the luckiest, most fortunate people there are. And to then turn it around and blame the business for not welcoming us with open arms, to me just means you got to work harder, put your head down, and do the best job you can.
Said very well. All right. Let me find out. Let's go down the line. You have other worlds. Do you have other jobs, something you do? Tell
I have
us.
other passions. I love to play tennis. Why I'm grateful to be down here in Florida. I plan to spend the afternoon playing on the
But you're a
courts
working actor.
But yes, that's all I do is to earn money is act.
And you're on the road, and you do road shows, and you do plays, and you do legit theater, right?
Right.
I'm
Tours,
helping you with your
regional,
resume.
thanks. You're doing a good job, too.
Call his agent. Okay, next. I have another life.
I have another life, a complete other life. I removed myself from the acting community about 3 years ago and went into business. I work for a publicly held company, New Image Industries, so there's a plug for my company. As an executive in the sales department, we manufacture and sell computer imaging systems. It's an alter ego. This actor that sits here is a whole different person on a whole different mission now that I'm brought back into the industry.
I like that. I think it's healthy. Very. You too, another world.
Yeah, my wife and I live in Salt Lake City, and after years and years of wandering, I found my niche in production, in film production. I work as a camera assistant and a camera operator. I do ski photography and.
Your heart go out to what we are doing here in the rain.
Yeah.
And you're on MTV.
Yes. You know, I just wanted to say that I saw Barry on Broadway in, like, what did we figure, 1977, in Pippin.
Wait till we get to Florence.
I've been staying pretty much in the acting field, doing a lot of studying of comedy, writing sketch comedy, stuff like that, improv, and a little bit of stand-up now and then. And so I've been pretty much sticking with that end of things.
Well, I changed careers, and I'm now an artist, illustrator, designer, all that stuff. And I'm married to a man who's an artist as well, so I very definitely have another life outside of the Brady Bunch, but I'm also having to do my other work when I get home from filming. So,
It's called Never Quit Your Day Job. Now, Florence, I saw her in Wish You Were Here. I saw her on the road in Oklahoma.
Oh, my
The
gosh.
movie, The Song of Norway. Well, I was on the road. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
So that's where I saw you. And a lot of other shows. Fanny. Oh, I can do your resume, too. Go.
Thank you. I have another life. I have become, which is my avocation, but I love the business and I want to be in it until I'm 95 or so. But I'm also a hypnotherapist, and I have the good fortune to work with terminally ill cancer patients and people with other problems, and this has just been a wonderful, wonderful thing for me.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
She doesn't tell anybody about it. For the last 14 years, I've been living in a Christian community in Denver, Colorado.
Are you going to move
part of an extended family.
Are you going to move now?
I live in Denver. Yeah, I'm going to move to Pennsylvania soon.
Why?
But because that's where the head of the community is going. He's going to be the head of a seminary in Ambridge, and the rest of the community is going with him. And I go out and I speak to church groups and people like that and tell them God loves them, which a lot of people don't know. But you know, I was kind of glad to get back, chance to go back, and I got the best of all possible worlds as far as I'm concerned.
You sound like very lucky people. Are you?
Yeah.
It really is true. We've been through a lot today. What you've seen is drenched stars, drenched audiences. There are no audiences like the audience in Fort Lauderdale.
And a wonderful Sally.
You're terrific. We will be back with you all tomorrow. Thank you. I love the Brady Bunch.